Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Jessica Gem here with a new video for you. Welcome to part number 5 of What If Deku Never Returned to UA. I just wanted to greet you guys by saying, sit back and relax, you're in for a treat. And so, we begin. It's happening again. Just like before, when he left in the middle of the night. Just like when he ran off during the attack on Jakku. Just like the countless times he got away these last few months. It's happening again. The air felt cold against her skin. Soaring through the sky, she felt small compared to the world around her. A part of her mind screams that Izuku was right to send her away. She can't keep up with them. She can't be of use in a fight against Shigaraki. At least, not like this. But that didn't matter, because it's happening again. He was right there, and now he's slipped from her grasp once again. And this time, he's fighting Shigaraki, while injured, tired, and alone. Her hair whipped back as she spun through the air. She'd immediately activated her quirk when Izuku had thrown her, and based on the sound of explosions from behind her, she was going to meet Bakugo and Todoroki in the sky. If Izuku was going to fight Shigaraki, they needed to help in any way they could. Maybe it's possible they could send out an alert to nearby pro heroes. If Aizawa was nearby, he could help Deku by cutting off Shigaraki's quirk. If they could find a way to help, they would. She turned, facing the opposite direction and finding the two off in the distance. Todoroki was easy to spot with that giant wall of ice he'd created to keep up with her. Bakugo was a little harder to find, but she eventually spotted him, trailing behind Todoroki and shouting about something. The two eventually caught up to her, and she grabbed Todoroki's shoulder to stop herself from flying past them. "What the hell is going on?" Bakugo shouted, landing on a platform of ice Todoroki had created. "I was with him, but Shigaraki showed up." As Ochako explained the situation, she watched as both of their faces fell with looming terror. "He threw me this way. They're fighting now." "And we're supposed to just sit here and do nothing?" Bakugo asked. "He's gonna get himself killed. We have to go help him." "I know, but what can we do? We can't just charge in there. Those two are on a different level than any of us," she said. A sneer formed on Bakugo's mouth before he looked off in the direction of Deku. We have to do something." "Calm down," Todoroki said. "We will find a way to help, but we need to be smart about it. We don't want to get in Midoriya's way. We could end up making things harder for him." "Do you have any idea where Aizawa-sensei or the other pros are stationed? Maybe you could call your father?" "Good idea." Todoroki pulls out his phone from one of his belt pockets. "I'll contact Endeavor, and hopefully they'll be able to." Todoroki's words are suddenly cut off by a loud explosion. All three of them whipped their heads toward the sound, and in its place, they found a symphony of green lightning. Electric and powerful, coursing through the air and snapping at the ground. The three fell silent as they watched the destructive fight happen in the distance. "Ugh! Screw this shit! I'm going!" "Bakugo, wait!" "No!" Just before Bakugo could fly off, Ochako grabbed his arm and whipped him back around using her quirk. For a moment he looked stunned, but it only took a second for his composure to return and his anger to flare. "Round face!" "If you're going to go, let me help as much as I can." She grabbed his grenade gauntlets and activated her quirk on them. "It should be easier to fly around without these weighing you down." He looked at her for a moment before his face softened and he nodded. "Thank you, Uraraka." Todoroki decided at that moment he too was going to help, and so Ochako took his phone and was given the task of informing Endeavor of what was currently happening. The two of them flew off in the direction of the fight, leaving her to stand on Todoroki's ice pillar and try her hardest not to feel useless. Ochako tried to keep her mind focused on the task at hand, but her heart wouldn't stop pounding in her chest. She's watched him fight before, and she's seen him get hurt, but this was different. This was Shigaraki, the man who had destroyed entire cities with only a tap of his hand. The man who had almost killed Izuku before all of this happened. This man has caused so much pain and destruction across all of Japan, and he was fighting him. Now they were fighting him. She tried to push the thoughts from her mind as she flew down to the ground, but they kept creeping back up, no matter how much she tried to ignore them. What if he gets hurt? What if he dies? She tried to push the thoughts away, but they kept coming back. No matter how much she tried, she couldn't shake the feeling of dread that was growing in the pit of her stomach. She has to do what she can. She has to help him in any way that she can. Her fingers race through Todoroki's contact list, and they find Endeavor listed. She taps the call button and holds the phone up to her ear, praying he answers. Gosh, she hopes he answers. Honey is a free browser add-on available on Google, Opera, Firefox, Safari. If it's a browser, it has Honey. Honey automatically saves you money when you check out on sites like Amazon, Papa John's, and Kohl's. Wherever you shop, it's a good chance that Honey can save you money. All you have to do when you're checking out at these stores is to click that little orange button and it'll scan the entire internet and find discount codes for you. If there's a coupon code, they'll find it. And if there's not one, you can rest assured that you're getting the best price possible. If you install Honey right now, you can save like $50 to $100 on your shopping, doing nothing. There's literally no reason not to install Honey. It takes 2 clicks, 10 million people use it, 100,000 5-star reviews. Unless you hate money, you should install Honey. Black whips snapped around him like electric eels. In an instant, he sent them out, and the tendrils once again latched onto Shigaraki's arms. Almost instinctively, Shigaraki wrenched in the opposite direction and broke free from the hold. Izuku leapt to the side as Shigaraki suddenly crashed into the ground where he'd been standing. The force of the impact cratered the dirt. Deku scrambled to his feet and flung himself at Shigaraki again. This time, he went for a low sweep with his good arm, but the villain was ready for it. He leapt over Deku and brought his palm down toward his back. He rolled out of the way and jumped to his feet. He rushed at Shigaraki again, and this time he used his quirk to its full potential. He increased the power of his punches and kicks to their maximum, and launched a flurry of attacks at the villain. A punch, a kick, an air blast. He screamed into the air as each attack landed against Shigaraki's skin. But it wasn't enough. Shigaraki was still standing, albeit with a few more burns and cuts on his body. He raised his hand and prepared to use his quirk again. Deku was out of options. He was running on fumes and he knew it. He had to end this now. He charged at Shigaraki one last time and leapt into the air. He raised his fist and brought it down with all of his strength. Smash! The impact was huge. It rippled through the air and blew back trees below him. The ground shook and a huge crater appeared where Shigaraki had been standing. Deku landed in a crouch, his hand throbbing from the force of the punch. He slowly stood up, his eyes never leaving the crater. There was a groan from the depths of the crater, and then Shigaraki slowly staggered to his feet. He was battered and bruised, his clothes were in tatters, and he could see blood pouring from a large tear in his side. But he was still standing. It wasn't over yet. Shigaraki raised his hand again, and Deku knew what was coming. Shakily, he braced himself for the impact. His torn-up arm rested lower, while his good one came up. One for All kicked up to 75%, and he felt the surge of its power coursing through him. But the impact never came. Instead, an ear-piercing explosion rang through the sky and lit up the entire crater with flames. He could hear Shigaraki screaming, and suddenly the flame-covered villain was encased in a thick layer of ice. everything became still, and he sighed. Deku turned to see Bakugo and Todoroki standing side by side, their hands still smoking from the combined attack they had just unleashed. "You finished with me now, huh?" Bakugo shouted. Todoroki simply nodded, his face serious. Deku turned back to the crater and stared at Shigaraki's prone form. He was still breathing, but he was unconscious. His eyes flickered over to Todoroki and Kacchan. "That should buy some time," Todoroki explained, breathing a bit of flame to melt his frostbitten skin. "Midoriya, come back with us. We can meet up with Aizawa and the other pros. We can handle this together." You guys..." Izuku's voice cracks as he stares down the frozen crater. "This isn't even close to being over. I can't risk putting anyone else in danger. I need to end this, now." "Look at yourself, Deku." Bakugo's voice sounds uncharacteristically quiet as he steps closer. "You can barely stand. You think you can take on that monster by yourself in this state?" Izuku trailed off, his eyes never leaving Shigaraki. "You're not thinking straight." Todoroki placed a hand on his shoulder. "Let us help you." I need to do this alone." Izuku shook his head. "I'm the only one who can. You don't know what he's truly capable of. The only thing stopping him from completely destroying Japan is my power. He's afraid of it. He wants it for himself, and he'll do whatever it takes to get it." Izuku looks both Bakugo and Todoroki in the eyes. "He'll kill all of you just to get to me. I won't let that happen." He turned back to the crater and started walking. "Deku!" Bakugo called out, but he didn't stop. Todoroki looked at Bakugo for a moment before sighing and following after him. "You're not going alone," Todoroki said firmly. "We're in this together, till the end. We aren't leaving you anymore." "Just rest, Deku!" Bakugo's voice booms from behind him. "Your arm is messed up, you're tired. Come back to UA and rest before trying to fight him again." He stops mid-stride at those words. "Kacchan." "I get it. We aren't strong enough. No one is except for you. That's what One for All is all about, huh? Well, I don't accept that. Even if it's true, I won't stop. You're just like me. No matter how many times we tell you, you aren't going to listen. So if you're gonna go on a suicide mission, at least do it at full strength." Deku feels tears sting his eyes, and he looks down at the ground. Somewhere deep down, he knows he's right. He can't keep going like this. He's exhausted, his arm is throbbing, and he knows he won't be able to defeat Shigaraki in this state. But he can't go back. Not yet. He has to end this. He can't risk more death and destruction. He looks up at Bakugo and Todoroki. "I'm sorry, but Midoriya! Deku! Young Midoriya!" Familiar voices ring through the air, cutting him off and sending all of their gazes off into the distance. It's there he sees them. His teacher Aizawa-sensei, Endeavor, a few other pro heroes, and All Might in his support car. Fear rings through him, and he flashes back to the attack on Jakku. As they approach, a rumble from the ice knocks them off their balance. Run! Thank you all for indulging yourselves in the content thus far. I hope you've enjoyed it. Now, there are a few things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, I'd like to say if you're in the mood for some great storytelling, We the Celestials has you covered. Our We the Celestials, My Hero Academia, and Naruto What If channels retell the story of their namesake anime with a twist. Check it out if you're interested. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in today's excellent content production. Their details can be found in the description below. Lastly, if you're interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, I'd like to extend an invitation to join the team. The only caveat is that we only accept members from 16 years and older to join our crew. You can sign up for whichever category fulfills your interests by joining the recruitment Discord using the link in the description below. We're always looking for members to join us. Well, that's it from us for today's video, so thank you all for watching. Farewell and have a divine day.